Today, Michelle and I are here to talk to you about lowering the drinking age to 18 again. Who remembers the first time they ever got drunk? Show of hands.
I remember.
Alright, who remembers how old they were? Okay, not bad. I know the first time I got drunk was sometime shortly after I entered high school. Can't give you the exact date or age after my first encounter of alcohol, but it's mainly due to the reason that I got absolutely shit-faced. I puked more than I ever puked in my life. To tell you the truth, up to that point, I never thought it was humanly possible to puke that much. Now, does this event mean that I was a bad kid or a victim of negative influence from my friends who were puking right next to me? No. The fact is that I was just being a regular kid. Watch a baby for a few minutes. What do? They stick anything and everything in their mouths. They pick up anything and everything and see how easily it breaks. Babies are the best examples of scientists. They are extremely curious about everything they see and try to figure out what the things around them do, how they work, what tastes good, and unfortunately, what tastes like shit. This is exactly the case for any young teenager who has drank alcohol. Anyone under the age of 21 knows that they shouldn't and aren't allowed to drink. Come in. Anyone under the age of 21 knows that they shouldn't and they are not allowed to drink alcohol, but the reason why many kids try alcohol the first time is out of curiosity. It's not because they are inherently bad kids. To the younger crowd, alcohol is something that they could associate with being an adult. To them, it is a forbidden fruit. This is why drinking age needs to be reduced from 21 to 18. With the drop in the legal age, the curiosity factor will also drop and the fruit isn't forbidden anymore. This is only my first piece of evidence to support my debate on lowering the drinking age, and already I'm having trouble organizing my ideas because there are just too many justifications to why this change needs to happen. One of the biggest topics of drinking deals with safety. No matter the age of the drinker, 56 or 15. Drinking could be enjoyed responsibly at any age, but it is when alcohol is abused that bad decisions occur with often hurtful or even deadly consequences. Teenagers are viewed by society as problem drinkers. Often you hear the words dangerous, excessive, and binge to describe their drinking. This is not just because we're all forced to sit in Mike's class for 55 minutes 3 times a week either. No, seriously. I'm not here to argue the fact that teen drinking is out of control around the country. Just look at the statistics. We all go to school at the zoo, and I've seen much of this behavior firsthand. Sadly, I think this behavior isn't the fault of the teenagers, but instead of the environment that we have been raised in. Young adults under the age of 21 tend to drink more when they get a hold of alcohol because of the uncertainty of when they might be able to drink again. With these vulnerable teens drinking to excess when alcohol is available, the issue of tolerance comes into play. It's common knowledge that an 18-year-old has less tolerance compared to a 21-year-old. After all, experience comes with age. Most of these kids really don't know how much they can handle until they're put into a situation where drinking is taking place as a result of peer pressure. This is when drinking becomes dangerous. At this point, it's too late. The perfect recipe for disaster has already taken place. A young adult who does not know his limitations is now forced to drink often high potent alcohol such as vodka or Four Locos. Unfortunately, I've just gotten taken off the market. Now this kid is going to go get in his car and drive home from wherever the drinking was taking place because he was too afraid to ask his parents for a ride home in fear of getting in trouble. Outlawing alcohol consumption for those under 21 is only making the problem worse. Young adults need to start being allowed to drink at school at a younger age in controlled environments such as restaurants, taverns, pubs, and even at official school and university functions. In these supervised situations, responsible drinking can be monitored by their peers and in these supervised situations, responsible drinking can be taught through role modeling and educational programs. When these kids are introduced to alcohol in a responsible manner by their peers, they tend to drink in a responsible way. When the drinking age was reinstated to 21, back to 21 across the country back in 1988, nothing positive happened. Again, instead the once open drinking environment of the young adults was simply moved underground to homes or cars or frat house basements where no adults could keep eye on things, leading to the exact dangerous situation we spoke about above. In a few final examples, Would you say it's fair for a 19-year-old veteran who just served his country overseas for the past year and away from his family, come home and not be able to pop a bottle of champagne with on his homecoming? Or would you say it's fair that when you marry your high school sweetheart at the age of 18, it is illegal for you to take part in a toast with an alcohol beverage? I mean, how could you get married and not drink? I thought that's what they made alcohol for. So please join the movement and lobby your politicians to lower the drinking age.
Well, I'm sure all of us, when we were high school age, wanted the drinking age to be a little younger than 21. That's also because we were younger. We had no idea the real responsibility that came with drinking. Do you guys know that alcohol is the choice beverage, or drug of anyone under 21? No wonder. You can't have it, so you're going to drink it. In the Federal Drinking Uniform Act, the Drinking Age Act, signed into law in 1984, provided for withholding 10% of the federal highway funds from states that do not prohibit the purchase. So by drinking, you're hurting your state and the funds that are going towards it. Now, Eric talked about how, yes, veterans can come home and they can't drink and they can serve our country. But that's also because we don't educate our students and everything about the drinking age. In European countries, they have actually worse problems than America does as far as binge drinking and drinking intoxication. Studies show that Europe has more underage drunkenness, injury, rape, and school problems due to alcohol. Since alcohol is more available there, it is actually increasing the proportion of kids who drink. This isn't good, because unlike our American counterparts, us Europeans are always involved in more crashes, and that's kind of a scary statistic. And states that previously lowered the drinking age to 18, such as Massachusetts, Maine, and Michigan, they experienced an increase in alcohol-related crashes among the 18 to 20 age group. This also reveals that restraining people in the age group of 18 to 20 has reduced the number of highway fatalities by this age group for 13%. A study by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention revealed that lowering the drinking age from 18 to 21 would increase the fatalities again. Underage drinking is the leading contributor to death from injuries, which are also the main cause of death for people under 21. Each year, approximately 5,000 persons under the age of 21 die from causes related to underage drinking. These deaths include about 1,600 homicides and 300 suicides. Alcohol also plays a significant role in risky sexual behavior and increases the risk of physical and sexual assault. Among college students under age 21, 50,000 experience drug-related date rape, and 43,000 are injured by another student who has been drinking. This statistic is pretty scary since we're all on a college campus, and not all of us are age 21 yet. I also found out in a really alarming rate that there's 41% of 8th graders right now have had alcohol already. I have a brother that's 12, and that's a little scary. He's going to go to 8th grade next year. And the fact that he may have already tasted alcohol is kind of frightening. I come from alcoholics in my family, and the fact that he may be pushed towards that is, I want to protect him as much as I can, and being able to educate him to know that drinking until you're age 21 is a lot better than trying to taste your first alcohol now. Before the 21 minimum legal drinking age was implemented by all the states, underage drunk drivers were involved in over twice as many fatal traffic crashes than they are today. This is also a scary statistics because most people start driving at 16. So half of them are going to die when they are going out on the road? It's pretty scary. Do you want a rebuttal?
Sure. From both of our arguments, it's easy to see that we'd all benefit if the drinking age was lowered back to 18. Instead of taxpayers spending money on alcohol enforcement, they should be spending money on alcohol education. Here are two different types of alcohol. Both are said to be marketed to the adult 21-year-old drinker, but you know, we look at this, and this has a much more glass, it's classy, it's expensive, it's for the mature 21-year-old drinker. And we look at this, it's bigger, it's more colorful, it's more potent, and it's cheaper. All these characteristics are selling their products to a younger crowd, a less tolerable crowd, and eventually leading to more injuries. So, I mean, I think if people were just able to drink at a younger age, they'd get rid of that crap, and everyone would drink in a more responsible manner.
We would hope that, but did you know that the people that start drinking before the age of 15 are 4 times more likely to become alcoholics? No. And it's because they've become it's been socially acceptable to have people drink heavily like that. And the earlier a person begins alcohol use, the greater the chances of becoming the alcoholic and suffering negative physical withdrawal symptoms and harming their brain and development.
What is that?
What? What's this?
Yeah.
Logo.
Never seen again.
Am I old?
This is the first and last
My
time.
What the
friend
hell is
just
Four Loko?
bought $400 worth of Four Locos.
Oh my god.
Nice, you know.
Because they just